Hello there. It's going to be a changeable week ahead with some wet and windy weather at times, particularly for the west. Though the start of the week's been largely settled. We've had a ridge of high pressure bringing us a calmer spell to start the week, but low pressure waiting out into the Atlantic, eventually going to drag in some outbreaks of rain and some stronger winds at times, particularly for the middle part of the week. But as that ridge of high pressure holds on to start on Tuesday, there'll be lots of dry weather around for much of England and Wales, lots of cloud and moisture, those trapped underneath that high. So it could be quite a murky start, particularly across the far south and southeast, where we may see some hill fog and plenty of grey skies. A different story though for western parts of Scotland and then later Northern Ireland, where we'll see outbreaks of rain, this persistent and heavy at times, and we'll gradually see a strengthening of the winds in western areas too. And then later on we'll see those outbreaks of rain start to creep into western parts of Wales and southwest England. But for the bulk of England and Wales, it should be a largely dry day, though it may stay fairly cloudy through much of the day. And temperatures generally fairly mild for this time in December, generally low double digits across much of the country. Now, as we head later on into Tuesday through into Wednesday, that cold front will push those outbreaks of rain erratically towards the southeast as we head into Wednesday morning, and plenty of isobars on the chart to begin on Wednesday too. And then it's all eyes on this area of low pressure down to the southwest, which will later bring some heavy outbreaks of rain across the far south and southeast. And another thing to note for Tuesday and Wednesday is we are going to see some potentially quite strong winds, particularly in those western areas. There's a risk of gales, and then later on across the far north of Scotland there is a risk of some severe gales. So blustery for all through Tuesday and into Wednesday, but it's in those western exposed coasts and northern coasts of Scotland where we're expecting to see significantly strong winds with a risk of gales, if not severe gales at times, for northern parts of Scotland. So a blustery start to Wednesday, plenty of clouds, some outbreaks of rain generally fizzling out across England and Wales, and it should lead to some brighter skies, particularly in the east, so seeing some sunny spells here and a few clearer spells creeping into Scotland too, though plenty of showers around coast of Scotland, Northern Ireland, plenty of blustery showers too, and starting to feel quite chilly here as well, so some showers perhaps falling as snow over the high ground of Scotland. And then a change from the southwest, as I mentioned, that low pressure dragging in a warm front, so some outbreaks of rain here by the time we reach the afternoon, turning heavy and persistent at times, particularly across the far south of Wales and parts of southwest England too. So we almost end up with a north-south split by the time we reach the afternoon on Wednesday, with some clear spells and showers to the north, though outbreaks of rain edging into the south, and generally staying mild too, highs of around 13 to 14 in the south, but it is going to start to feel chilly across Scotland, particularly if you add on the wind chill. Then later on Wednesday through into Thursday, we'll see those outbreaks of rain generally clear their way to the southeast, and then we see more of a northerly flow across the country, so bringing in some colder air at times. A brief cold spell as by the time we reach Friday, another milder spell moves through as we head into the weekend, but it's still staying fairly blustery, so unlikely to see any sort of widespread frost, but it is going to be feeling cold, particularly in those blustery winds. So cloud with outbreaks of rain gradually clearing their way to the southeast, and once again there should be lots of dry weather around, though we can't rule out some showers, particularly around coasts and western coasts around Wales and southwest England, and also plenty of showers around coasts across Northern Ireland and Scotland. In Scotland, once again, these could fall wintry over high ground, but it is going to be feeling cold. Just taking a look at those temperatures, highs not really pushing much past 8 to 9 Celsius, but if you add on that northerly wind chill, it's going to feel even colder still. Then to finish off the week, it's a fairly similar picture really. Once again, there should be plenty of dry weather around, perhaps a bit more cloud at times in western areas, with still plenty of showers feeding through. But a slight difference across Scotland, Northern Ireland, once again catching that rain as it moves through into the northwest, could be turning heavy and persistent at times too. And temperatures really struggling, highs of only around 7 to 8 Celsius, but once again in that keen northerly wind, it is going to feel much chillier still. But starting to see much lighter winds by the time we reach later into Friday compared to earlier in the week. Those outbreaks of rain will gradually move their way southeastwards overnight into Saturday morning, and then still plenty of isobars on the chart, so it's going to turn breezy once again as we head into Saturday with low pressure just to the south of Iceland. That will gradually bring in further outbreaks of rain as we head into the weekend. So you can see why I called it changeable, often seeing outbreaks of rain move in from the west and often quite blustery too. But for more day-to-day updates on the weather, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Otherwise, that's it from me. I hope you have a good week.